So with that, we'll talk about a few different types of stipulations that parties have started using to kind of help avoid the problem that John was just talking about with respect to overlapping issues. So two of the types of stipulations here are based on an informative decision from the board and a precedential decision from the board. So the first type we'll discuss is called a sand revolution type stipulation. And this is essentially, you're stipulating to not raise the same grounds. So you're not going to raise the same grounds that you raise in your IPR petition in parallel litigation. And again, that came from a case called Sand Revolution. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But just as an overview, a second type is called a Sotera style stipulation. And this is a much broader stipulation where the petitioner is stipulating not to raise in the district court the invalidity grounds in the IPR petition plus any ground that the petitioner could have raised in the IPR petition. So this is much broader, and it looks basically like the estoppel language in Section 315E. And then aside from those two kind of mainstream types of stipulations, others have tried kind of hybrid stipulations that are somewhere in between. So, you know, broader than the Sand Revolution style, but not as broad as the Sotera style stipulation. So this one, you know, common example is a petitioner stipulating not to use the same primary references. So maybe you have one or two really good primary references that you've included in your IPR petition, and you use them, you know, combine those with a secondary reference or two. And so the stipulation is, well, we're not going to use those same primary references in district court, but, you know, maybe they would swap out, otherwise they could swap out just, you know, a minor secondary reference or something like that and get around it. So they're saying, you know, it's still a fairly broad stipulation to not use those same, you know, really good primary references, but it's certainly not as broad as the Sotera style stipulation.